Alright, hello everyone and no one, and welcome to another ride with Rotn. We are going to try out a new mount, so things are going to look a little bit crooked because I haven't gotten it perfected of how it's going to sit for this one, so we're going to get that. We're going to move it a little bit this way to hopefully get it to not look just head on. Hopefully, moving the mic to a different location and looking like a freaking goober with it works out, but we're going to go for a bit of a drive down through parts of where I live. Well, parts of where I used to live more. And might live again someday. Otherwise, not too bad of a day other than, arguing with DuckDuckGo for some of you that would be a different way to Google for a browser or for a search engine. Trying to find a way to have my iPhone go with a different microphone other than the lapel mic, which works, but apparently anywhere other than inside my apartment, it just super peaks. Okay, so we're gonna try to pull that this way some. Come on. Oh, yep, this is just gonna be hardcore canted. Well, this one didn't turn out. I didn't plan this as well as I'd hoped. So, well, we get canted video because you're on canted video. But yes, was trying to find a way for recording to change how my microphone or which microphone I use to maybe use one of my Bluetooth headsets. But basically, for this whole scenario, they're just like, nah, fam. Uh, you get what we say. Like, apparently back in the day, you used to be able to go through and choose which mic, choose its volume. No, not this anymore. All right, did I put my, there we go. Go ahead and put that cruise control on. And then if I'd actually set it properly, yeah, I haven't been down this way in a long time, since before my moped was stolen. Or my scooter, depending on what you want to go with. Or which words you're using for it. Mostly because, I couldn't take it on the highway since I couldn't really get over 35 without being, going down a hill. And it had to be on a pretty steep incline that it was going down, or decline. Ugh. Otherwise, what else to talk about? Guess I could bring up that apparently the video of the guy who laughed to get the citation for, flashing his lights to warn against the speed trap and then not signing his registration's making its rounds again. Because apparently so many videos just got to make that, just every couple years, make the rounds on the internet. The funny thing about that is that was in West Virginia, so I was looking it up. And apparently the cop is still, I guess, hired, but, or his last I knew is showing that he's an active cop. But the all of the charges got dismissed because the one they tried to use for the flashing lights later on got overturned. Is like, yeah, that's not what that's for. And then the not signing his registration got dismissed immediately because, well, just like where I live in Michigan, the only time you need to sign the registration for your vehicle is if it's a commercial driving vehicle. So you have a commercial driving license. So quite literally, the cop lied to him about it, which unfortunately cops are legally allowed to do, which I don't agree with. But he went through and did that. And in the end, he got that whole thing taken off anyways. And there might be a lawsuit, I'm not 100% sure. But litigation like that can take years sometimes. God, this Kansas video is kind of bugging me. Screw it. I don't care. What's going to bug me, probably bug viewers, and we're going to see how it goes. I mean, it's not like I'm some massive YouTuber anyway. I'm just some shithead on the internet like everyone else, or like majority of us. But yeah, unfortunately, we have a thing of too many cops that either are ignorant of the law or arrogant of the law. And they get way too much protecting them when it shouldn't. I know I hear a lot of my own friends in life say qualified immunity should be ended. I don't necessarily believe that. I do believe it should be amended, not ended. And it should be amended to what it's supposed to be, to where we'll take marijuana. Marijuana is federally illegal still in the United States of America. Now, there are many states to where recreational use is considered legal. What qualified immunity would do is if a person was picked up while it was still considered illegal to recreationally use without a medicinal marijuana card, you could still go to jail and they could still try you for it, even though you may not agree with it. Oh, Jesus. So if you went to jail for it, and then because the law in a year or two got overturned, got changed to where, no, and in the state of Michigan it became legal, you couldn't then go and sue the cop and the judge for wrongful arrest and wrongful prosecution, because in that instance they were still working in accordance with the law. So it would make sense for those types of things. The problem is you'll have cops that'll go through and someone will be kind of a dick to them, so they'll be aggressive, they'll close distance, get into their face, technically assault the other person first by going through and touching them, usually by like a chest bump or something. So said person will be like, hey, back off, push them, and they're like, oh, you therefore assaulted an officer. Well, they'll say that they have qualified immunity because, that person assaulted them and whatnot. It's kind of like, again, with the laughing of the citation, the cops that are like, well, you can't speak to me that way. Yes, you can. As a police officer, I can tell you to go fuck yourself in the worst of ways. The First Amendment does still apply. Now, a lot of law enforcement wouldn't get shit for that if they would go through and actually prosecute the bad apples. This is one of the reasons why I truly believe that the unions for the police department need to go away. They have not been a benefit. I'm honestly of the belief, though, the unions haven't been a benefit to many people. All right, homie, you ain't got to stop. I do. We're going to go this way. I haven't gone this way in fucking years since me and my dad took a drive out here for no reason. Because a buddy of his used to live somewhere around here that I worked with for a bit. I mean, I grew up kind of knowing him. And I want to say it was at his house where I technically had my first beer or drink of beer unknowingly. For anyone who wants to be like, you were drinking underage. Yes, that was also like 35 years ago or so. Pretty sure the statute of limitations would be out on that. And it's not like they purposely gave me a beer like, here you go, man. Have yourself a brewski with us. No, I grabbed the wrong can off a table because I thought it was a soda because I was like 3 or 4. And was like, that don't taste right, so I put it back. At least from what I can remember. I didn't chug it. Alright, let's see. This should take us more towards one of the rivers, I want to say. Going through for some of the scenic drive. Because I'm only going to be able to go so far this direction before I would technically hit Lake Michigan. So I'm pretty sure it's like that's where I actually need to turn right, or not right, but left, and that whole thing. But let's go this way. Let's let's have a little bit of adventure. I got a full tank of gas. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, yeah, gas is more expensive than I'd like. And that. All right, so what goes on this thing? I'm not going to go that way. I'll go right. What's up, old timer? And for anyone who wants to get pissy about that, old timer is just a thing I will say to some older folks, and it's not meant to be derogatory. Oh, yep, because there's, I want to say Kalamazoo River, which you can't see. I can. We'll have to go through. Actually, you know what? We might turn back around and see if I can go to one of the beaches or something. That's what I'll have to do in one of these upcoming weeks. Go out and see if I can find one to where I can drive by the beach and do that. I'm pretty sure the Saugatuck Beach is still closed and I can't go there. And I wouldn't be able to, I don't want to fucking pay to go in there anyways, just to get a kind of a scene of it. I mean, if I wanted to walk, I could go there for parts of it. I mean, I don't even know what the speed limit is right here. But I am more down in the residential area. Yeah, I haven't been. Okay, now I see the speed limit sign at 35. I haven't been down this way in a long time, and I just know it once you start getting. And obviously, once you get to waterfront property, it is expensive. And I guarantee you, these houses cost way more than I could afford. I can hardly afford a house to begin with, but these ones are even worse. Good God. You don't want to think of the taxes. God, I wish they'd get rid of it. Oh, if they got rid of property tax, like the three things I'm hoping for the most: get rid of the property tax for everyone, not just seniors. That shouldn't be a thing. The only thing they should be able to do is basically shut off your power, your water, or whatnot. They shouldn't be able to take your home for less than a frickin' percent of what it's actually worth because you didn't pay taxes. That's just renting it from the government, and that's bullshit. Because, like, discussed with my dad, if your house gets repossessed by the bank because you owe on it, and they go to sell it, as long as they only sell it for what you still owed, you guys are even. But if they sell it for more than what you owed on it, they have to pay you the difference. They don't get to keep that money. The government, on the other hand, they repossess, or I shouldn't say repossess, they take your house or your vehicle or whatnot, unless they took it unlawfully, which I still believe all of that would be considered unlawfully. Yeah, if they auction off your house and whatnot, any proceeds need to stay with the government. It's like the other two taxes I'd love to see is one, I'd love to see the taxing for tips be removed because that's just bullshit to begin with, and they've been trying that shit to get it further and further since before I was ever born, and I'm 38 and I turned 39 this year. Like, my mom's told me stories about that whole thing for tax on tips, if I remember correctly. But if they also were to remove the tax on overtime, I'd be more prone to work more overtime. Like, it sucks because I put in extra effort to try to have some more money to be able to do something, but now all of a sudden I'm in a higher income bracket because I, had to put my own blood, sweat, and tears into it potentially. Like, I just don't agree with that. If they're going to do an income tax, it should be based upon what your regular working hours are, not what your overtime is. And that should go for fucking child support as well. And I know some people won't agree with me on that one. But I'm also still of the belief that if you got fired from your job or had to quit because of something or reason, you should be able to negotiate to have your child support lowered. Otherwise, they shouldn't be able to try to go in and say, well, he makes more money, I should get higher child support. Oh, damn, Tesla car. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Hell, I've only seen one Cybertruck in the wild. Oh man, I'm thinking I should have put this thing more to my left so y'all can see some of the house. You can see some of the houses on the right, and they're not bad looking. They're overly expensive because quite literally I'm a stone's throw from the river. And it's really funny because where I live and kind of grew up, well, the town I grew up in is legitimately a tourist town. The city I live in is actually not a tourist city. It has some tourist attractions, but it's predominantly meant to be for industry, considering you have like Tiara Yachts there. You've got a bunch of Hayworths there. There's several other ones there for manufacturing. I think Bradford's still there I think it's Bradford that does like boxes. You got one of Sherwin's aerosol plants in there. And like I said, there's a bunch of them I'm missing. I know I am. It's like there's the Royal for food. Oh man. It's one right on the tip of my tongue. It's one that a bunch of my people I know have worked at, and like it's always mixed reviews of either they love it or they hate it for working there. So it's that whole thing that it has some tourist attractions, but it's not a predominantly tourist town or tourist city. And for those of you who may actually be wondering, it's Holland, Michigan. Like, I'm really not that too worried about being doxxed to the city I live in, uh, because I'm not big enough for some dumbass to show up at my apartment and try to start some shit. Especially if they were to try to break in, because the law would be on my side on that one and not on yours. And the dogs I have, I don't have dogs. I have guns, and I pray I never have to use them other than just going to the range and maybe hunting. Anyone else, because I don't want to have to hurt someone like that, because that's more human nature. Oh, tattoo shop. Might have to look. I gotta look into one of those again. I haven't gotten a tattoo since like I think it was one of the vacations. Times of leave I came back for when I was still in the military. So it's been several years. I wouldn't mind getting there. Just have to figure out what I want. And congratulations, welcome to the inner ramblings of my head, to where nothing really makes sense and I just keep going from one topic to the other. Or I don't talk sometimes. Yeah, because it's that I don't really know if I actually have like ADD or ADHD or any of that shit. It's like, plausibly, never been tested fully for it. But it's never been a major detriment to my life that I need to be tested for it. Is that a fucking turkey? If you can see the little thing bobbing and whatnot, yeah, that's a fucking turkey. Holy shit, that's not something I expected to see. Hmm. A longer light than I expected. There we go. Yeah, you wouldn't expect to really see a wild turkey in somewhere, and by wild turkey I mean the animal, not the drink. I mean a coyote, yes, and there it is, walking between some houses. Because coyotes will go fucking anywhere because they don't really have a fear of people and they eat whatever they can fit down their gullet. That's still kind of a funny story for those of you who've actually gone through and seen the videos on it or whatnot. because of people decimating wolves, the fear of them when they weren't doing near as what people thought they were. And now coyotes are overpopulated because of that, so they cause some serious fucking issues. All right, it's definitely not pine I want to turn on. Man, I got 20 minutes and it's not doing too bad. Oh, yeah, it was this one. Ah, river. That said something else. Been a while since I've been down this way. Still remember when that shell used to have a and W in it. They actually had some pretty good burgers. And pretty shortly we'll go by the old, I say the old, but the Holland Public Library that the first time I ever stepped foot in it, it was actually work to clean it, doing some carpet cleaning and whatnot for it. The old Herrick District Library. Then this Park Theater coming up used to have a building attached to it that once had a pool hall, but they fucking destroyed it for some odd reason. I had actually several buildings hooked up to it. Yeah, they got rid of it for some whatever reason. Used to play pool there. I haven't been down this way, at least through these spots, this in a while. Usually, furthest I come downtown Holland is to go to the post office when I have to pick something up or send something out. Send something out's even rarer than to pick something up. Usually, I only got to pick something up because they wouldn't drop it off. But I mean, they got this OA Asian Bistro coming up on A Street that it's got pretty decent food. Yeah, pad thai. I think it was pad thai. No, it wasn't pad thai. It was pretty good food. Ramen was halfway decent. They did a mixture of different Asian cuisines or from different Asian countries. Train tracks. Some of this has changed over the years. Some of it hasn't too much. Actually, coming up on the river, and ooh, what? Why are you so out of focus? Well, son of a bitch. Get in focus, you prick. Well, that don't fucking help. Well, now we're canted out of focus driving. Wonderful. I mean, I'm just using this as a way to fucking ramble out loud and not feel as, I don't know, as much insane about it or something. Oh shit, that building's all closed up. There used to be a pawn shop there. I mean, there used to be a bunch of different stuff around here. And now it's cleaned back up. Oh, I still remember when there used to be a Pizza Hut here, the old school Pizza Hut that had the specific style of building. I want to say the one on this side is actually where we got the early 1990s X-Men. Got the first 2 episodes on VHS through Pizza Hut. I don't remember what the hell why we got them for that. But we were able to get them. Alright, well, none of this is telling me I gotta turn, so we'll keep going. Fuck it, we're gonna go for a longer drive just because I can. I don't really need to get groceries. I don't really need to do anything else, so I'm just gonna keep driving for a while. What else? What else? I mean, hell, maybe I ought to call it since I can't really think of too much else going on. Can't even really call any of these places like my old haunts or anything because I really didn't do a whole lot. I stayed more in the area where I grew up until I got older, and then it was just when I hung out with my friends that lived up here. I'd have to keep going further north to go up by where my grandparents lived. I want to say there's a spot somewhere around here where I could just basically decide to go east and not east, west. Jesus, get your fucking directions in check, bud. I could go to see the beach. That would be kind of fun. All right. Oh shit! Coming up as a right lane, must turn right. And I'm not going to be a dick to this lady in the BMW, so I'll make a right turn for now. All right, man, you're not going to go, I'll go. It's a 4-way stop. Hell, I know if I go up far enough to one spot and then go over, I know I can hit the softball fields where my brother almost got into a fight and my dad got a broken rib. Or not broken rib, I think cracked rib. Well, similar. Same but different. It's always funny the small bits of farmland you find in spots because, well, they've been farmland for years. Yep. Alright. Fuck it, let's go north again. At least northeast is northeast. needs to park. Oh, I forgot about this walking bridge. That's what that is. Ooh, it is actually a bit warm in the vehicle now. Oh, because there's a fucking golf course. That's why. God, I forget how many golf courses there are around here. More than some think, but less than. I mean, like the area I grew up in, there's 2. I think up here there's by Holland there's 3 or 4. I mean, we're about now north of Holland. Now we're getting in a more rural area that's more mixture of farmland again. Farmland and woods. It's been a while since I've been out this way. Especially this way. I don't think I've gone down this far north on this road in a long ass time. Not since when I could actually like hang out with some of my cousins before, you know, them being older than me and whatnot. All end up having kids. And the one cousin I would hang out with the most, I think, is still trying to get his second divorce. Only reason he hasn't is because it's cheaper and easier for her to file than it is for him. And the funny part about that instance is, like, to go a little business, it's not lying. That's like, she's even admitted him being older than she is by quite a bit. She's the one who pursued him. And this is already after he'd been married once before. One bit of credit I will give her is when we had the argument, the discussion, she was trying to say the whole thing of like, oh, if you go and you're in a relationship and you go to the strip club, that's the same as cheating for a guy. So I had to ask, so do you think a gal going to a strip club would be the same as cheating for a dude? And they came to the agreements that they actually do believe it was. Starting to get to areas I recognize, and I haven't been out this way in a long time, since before my grandmother passed. And from everything I've heard of that story, I am super glad I wasn't there for that. Not because it would have been sad, but she'd have made some dark humor jokes made a dark humor joke that I'd have probably fell over laughing. So pretty sure I've told this one on stream before, but I was in Okinawa at the time, and because she apparently decided she was going to stay alive to say goodbye to all the grandkids and great grandkids she could and everything, especially for me since I lived out of state. And then she was going to go off her meds and pass because it'd been long enough since my grandfather had died. So that's the way things were. Dude, I'm doing almost 60. You can quit riding my fucking ass. The speed limit's 55. Whatever, buddy. Actually, after this, I might stop by and just see what's going on, see who's there. yeah, I think I'll do that. Go for a little bit longer, turn back around, and go stop by and see what's going on. But get back to the story of her making a darker joke. So I'm in Okinawa. She's gotten off her medication and everything, and she's going through the whole thing. She's going to pass. One of my cousins shows up, and she asked my grandmother, "So, Grandma, how you doing?" My grandmother, underneath the covers and everything, while my mom's sister is out there, not because my grandmother's, or it's like my cousin's dad would have been her son, so it's like her mom wasn't there, obviously. Different story. Uh, it tells my cousin, she's like, "Oh, I'm dying, but not fast enough." My cousin was speechless. I tell Mom later on, I'm like, I was so glad I wasn't there for that. And she's like, why? I'm like, I'd have been having trouble breathing from laughing so hard. But with that, I'm going to call this damn near 40-minute video. It's going to be closer to that when I do a little editing and that whole thing. Another one done. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll be getting one with me and my dad. So have a good one, and thanks for watching.